Hello.
Launcher.
Uh-oh. Launcher. Sorry. All right. Give me just a few moments here. Okay. All right. Oops. Hang on. Give me just a few moments here. Okay, looking good, cool. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's game diff. So I think I decided yesterday that I was going to attempt to ditch the command buffer. Or I at least brought it up at some point. And I think I thought about it a little bit off stream. I think I'm just going to try to do mutexes really nicely. And we're going to see how that goes. See if there's very much stalling or anything like that, you know. So we're just going to try and mutex the shit out of everything today. Chanel, welcome in. Welcome in. Good morning. What did I do here? Ah, yes, this is wrong. This is wrong. So now I got to go through and like fix all this shit. Now we gotta go through and fix all this shit, and we gotta figure out where to put these mutexes and whatnot. So we should probably stop reading from the cache pools as well. So this might get simpler. Yeah, it'd be really nice to not have to cache pools and stuff. It would be really nice. But I think probably in this scope is where I would need a lock, because we are reading from the cache pools and the entity data pools. So I probably need a read lock here. I know nothing about programming, but I'll try and make sense of this. This might be a difficult one. This is not the best starting point. Not the best starting point for someone who doesn't understand programming. But good luck to you. Okay, let's see if this works. Piotr? Hello? Okay. Let me see. Do we still work? Okay, yeah, we're gonna get there, that's fine. He's moving! That's fine. Now, I guess I need to see if he... Oh, he has gameplay logic! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Now, the attachment processor doesn't work properly, nor does the... what is it that does the... I forget which one does the... I forget which one does the animations. Is it representation processor? No. ISM processor? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it does look aesthetically pleasing. My code does, huh? Well, that's nice of you. I'm glad someone thinks that. Hopefully we'll get there, but good luck on your game journey. Thank you. And if you're attempting to learn how to program, good luck on your programming journey. Okay, so what are we editing here? The ISM data. Okay, so we need to, let's go through here. Okay. Tinkerado, hello. ISM LOD. I'm feeling like there's a better way to do this. Like, I think maybe just the required data can maybe be inferred. I think there's probably some just, and I don't think there's any, I don't think that's literally only for the frame data cache. That's the only place it's used. Oh yeah, we can get rid of that bad boy for sure. For sure. Okay. So that probably will help with the actual animations of the guys, so he's not just like standing still. You always mention Half-Life or the fucking engine. And how good well, is it the source engine? That's what it is, right? Oh, he still doesn't have animations. What the frick? Oh, am I still moving? Am I still doing the command buffer? Yeah, let's find usages here. We're gonna get rid of everywhere that is. But it is interesting, you're saying that the Half-Life 2 was supposed to have runtime deformable subdivision terrain. I don't know what you mean by subdivision terrain. Well, that does sound cool. That would have been even more revolutionary for its time. Okay, so nothing is going to be put in the command buffer now. That might be an issue for, like, the velocitor is probably going to be broken. So we got to go through and change some things here. So these both need to be refs, I think. Okay, so that we are editing transform data, right? Yeah. Now, are we're also editing velocity data dot last update time. Why did I say it like that? Oh, Mart. Hello. What do you got for me, Mart? Hit me. Hit me with some content. Well, let's just go ahead and fix all these right now. Let's just fix all these right now. Yo, what you making? Making a video game. But I'm working on refactoring my ECS system to get some more performance. We'll see how many we can render here in a moment. What am I editing here? I don't think I'm actually editing anything here. Yeah, that's not doing any edits in that loop. Attach info, attach data. That is doing an edit as well. So is the we can just let's just change that name. That's not a proper name anymore. Make sure these are correct. What are you doing? Just said that, Martin. Speaking of Valve, actually it doesn't make sense. Never mind. Well, now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. LOD processor, you probably, yeah, you need to be updated. Okay. Okay. Any other ones that I should, I'll need to rebuild. So let's just go ahead and rebuild. Chunk processor, you're doing reads only. I changed you. Moving tag, you're not even a processor. I need to change you. State tree processor, you've already been updated. For each async on the target processor. Now, that one's still going to be command buffer city. Well, no, because it just, okay, yeah, we're fine. This right here might be an issue. Yeah, the target processor is still an issue, and that's probably going to have, that's where the source of my thread locks are going to be. Hello? Hello? So welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Let's see if our guy works now. Works once again after many refactors. Bro, where are your animations? Bruh. Okay, we're not even getting there. As he doesn't have a valid instance? Is that false? No, okay. I mean, we should be getting into, oh, that was, yeah, we should be getting into the locomotion part here. Okay, we do get there. Yeah, so we've gotten here. Movement blend space. Okay, so we're going. We've got some samples. Okay, so why you know? Okay, so we've updated some information here. We have updated some information. You should have. Yeah, you have information here. You have information in your custom data, which should be the animation information, correct? Do I have the wrong like asset in here or something? Where is animations? There it is. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have stuff. Local frame. So we should be animating. We should be animating. And so the only thing that would have changed here is this const cast. But like that should be fine. Spooky but fine. I always feel dirty doing a const cast. Feels like I'm breaking the rules. Like I'm a bad boy. I love coding streams, especially ones where streamers don't flex Vim on us. Yeah, dude, those guys are crackheads. I swear, dude. The Vim coders, they're either old, and I get it. Like if you know, Zed I think uses Vim, or does he use Emacs? I don't fucking know the difference. Never needed anything more than Nano in my life, and I'd like to keep it that way. So if you're an old guard, if you're a member of the old guard, I get it. But if you're the new guard, if you're a younger person, if you're below 40 and you're using Vim, like yeah, you're just trying to be a try-hard hacker, man. I'm not actually being super serious about that, but I'm just going along with the joke. I do prefer Rider though. JetBrains products are my heart and soul. Yeah, so why aren't we getting proper updates here? So I wonder if I should, let's take a peek at the beginning of the next frame. We'll see if this data is getting written properly. And so entity anim state, I should have idle. Oh, is it always idle? Uh-oh, okay, so maybe. I have never ran the nano command and not had it be installed on whether it's Linux, Windows, whatever. Okay, so the anim sequence is always idle, actually, maybe. Okay, hang on. I gotta catch him while he's moving. Oh dear. Oh my god, that's so cool. Look at that. Look how efficiently that's running. Whoa. Cool. Holy shit, there's a lot of fucking guys. Look how performant it is though. There's so many and it's like still actually running okay. Okay, it's getting a little slow now. It's getting a little slow now. Out of memory for skin cache. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop that before it gets too crazy. Notepad is the best IDE. Yeah, true. That is true. It is true. Okay, hang on. Okay, so yeah, let's figure out that issue. Why are we like, we're not cleaning up the actors very well, are we? And so that should be under the entity representation processor. And I guess maybe, okay, I need to start moving again, please. Start moving. There we go. Pause. What is your anim sequence here? It is still, so it's not selecting correctly, which means the input velocity. Yeah, input velocity is 0. Hypersonic Nerd, first time chatter, welcome in. Hello to you. And a good hello to you. Good sir. Why am I getting 0 velocity here? He is clearly moving. Velocity processor, you should be updating the velocity. Let me see here. Velocity data, velocity. Velocity data is a ref? Yeah, it is a ref. Let's look here. I don't think I added velocity from anywhere else, do I? Only reads. Only reads. Ooh. The move to processor. But that's only when he's an actor, so that shouldn't matter. Or when he switches back and forth. I'm looking for new streams to hang around. Well, you're more than welcome to hang around here. This is the velocity processor itself. That should be happening. Yeah, I don't think it's dying. I don't think it's dying. Stop entity velocity. I mean, yeah, maybe that's happening. I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, but let's, I do have that breakpoint here. Velocity is indeed 0. How is he moving then? Am I working as a developer, as a full-time job too? Yes, not a game developer though, just a regular boring developer. Why, oh why would velocity be 0? Private account? Welcome. What's up with you? Why would velocity be 0? Let's go to the beginning. Let's go back to where it all started. Okay, so yeah, your velocity is 0. We figured out the source of this issue. Velocity is 0, that's fine. Well, no, it's not fine, but... Okay, we have a velocity here. Now, originally this was velocity data.velocity. So let me look at velocity data. That is 0. So I guess we're not getting here where we would edit the velocity. Yeah, so we're never actually, okay, I think this makes sense. We're never actually like writing to, I think, so we need to reconcile the difference between the input velocity and the existing velocity. I think this is what we need to do. Okay, so take this back to just velocity data.velocity rather than the input velocity. And then I think I just probably need to add these together or something. But I just add in, let's just add input velocity and see what happens. Well, no, I need to actually do a write as well. But that's not going to help. Use it anyway. Yeah, so that's not actually going to help here. Should I just edit it up front? I don't know, it feels weird. But I mean, like, why not, I guess? And then do I add the delta seconds input velocity time? I think no. So just add the input velocity. Velocity equals, okay, so this is gonna do nothing yet. Well, okay, do that. Yeah, this is weird. This is totally different from how I was doing velocity before, because I have a move to processor, and this is what accepts like a move to task from the state tree, and it will calculate like an input velocity. This is like what an AI controller normally would do. If you're familiar with Unreal Engine, an AI controller would add some sort of control input, which is usually just like a direction. And then we can get rid of that one. I don't want that one anymore. We do have a velocity there. Is it correct though? But normally, that would just be editing velocity, the existing velocity, which is what this is right here. This is the existing velocity. And so normally the move to processor rather, would just, oh my God. Yeah, that's not correct. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. It was doing a very nice, like, how do I say, like a acceleration. Like it was just getting faster and faster. I thought I did like a max somewhere. Yeah, get clamped to max size. So I should probably do that. Am I doing that on, I'm doing that on velocity data.velocity. So that... Bro, can I work with you? I don't think there's anything to work with me on. Whoa. Holy shit. Yeah, okay, so that's still an issue. Okay, let's try to times this by delta seconds. Let's see how that looks. Millipede. Yeah, that was definitely a human centipede type situation going on there. Oh dear. It's so funny, they all have the same velocity information as him. Oh, and I think I turned off the... Oh, wait a second. So this is supposed to be... This is still supposed to be setting the rotation. Why isn't it? What do I want to do about this? Because this is all wrong. Maybe should I just set velocity equal to input velocity? I think this is the only... Applying gravity is the only case that I need to, like, not do that in. So let's just do this. Although it does feel weird. I was not expecting to get into velocity again. If I just set it equal to velocity, what happens? Okay, now he's completely stuck. Why is that? Is he moving? He is. He's moving so slow. Okay, yeah, that's not the move. Okay. Okay, so first of all, let's take a step away from that. I would like to make sure that these guys are getting added and removed. And it seems like the actors are not getting cleaned up. Oh, these are pointers. You can be deleted, or at least commented out for now. We are switching to, oh yeah, this is no longer a ref. That's probably the issue right there. Actor data, yeah, I think that was probably the issue. Switch to actor. There's probably somewhere else that was... Yeah. Okay. He's still going way too fast. He is trying to rotate. Okay, yeah, we're doing a little bit better here. Yeah, okay, so I think that fixed the issue for sure. Velocity is still kind of bad. And he's just going back and forth between the same spots. Is he rotating properly? I can't tell. Are you using references to the actors since they are pointers? No. I'm using pointers since they're pointers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking by that. Okay, so this is like the most working that I've gotten it. So I'm actually curious now. The attachment processor seems to be going fine as well. So hang on, let's give it a little big test here. A little big test here. This is gonna be chaos. Yeah, so I can that's an easy fix. Yeah, there's gonna be the velocities are just gonna be all over the place. Okay, interesting that I'm not getting any threading issues at the moment. No threading issues. Yeah, they're like way overshooting their targets. But yeah, interesting. That was actually quite good. That was actually quite good. Okay, so that should stop that assertion. So that's good. That is good. So this velocity thing. So yeah, it seems like the deceleration that I'm calculating from the move to processor is not being able to persist here. So I think actually interesting. So I'll have to kind of change. Oh man, I did not want to have to change this. I should, yeah, let's go to floating pawn movement and take a peek there. That's kind of what I modeled that off of. This makes me sad and happy because I wanted to pursue CS. Why does it make you sad? I don't want to make you sad. Okay, let me see. So I think maybe this should be in the velocity processor. Maybe that's my issue. Because I see that there is a velocity, there's a control input to velocity here. Oh, that's what I've copied. That is what I've copied. Look at Gouda. Hey, welcome in. Okay, okay. Where's the control input? I'm not actually seeing it. I have control acceleration. And that is get pending input vector. Control input vector. Okay. And I think the control input vector is... It's just a direction, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I'll probably have to rewrite this, at least a little bit. And then I should probably... Consume input vector. Okay, and then it what? It like sets it to 0? What does that do? Oh yeah, it sets it to 0. Okay, interesting. It sets it to 0. So I should maybe just like kind of assume that it's 0 here. Where do I set input velocity? Is it always there? I guess, yeah, I'm setting it here. Okay, and I'm not like adding or I'm not adding, so I'm setting equal to. But this velocity, I think this velocity needs to be... I should bite the bullet and just do it. This might turn into a velocity stream. Welcome in though, everyone. Good morning. Hang on, let me show the game off. Let me talk about the game rather than just code. I'm working on a video game, an Unreal Engine. It is going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain and AI generated quests. So here is some procedural terrain. Here's some procedural terrain for my game. Just one seed, this one random seed. This is just one small part of the world here. CS is not hard. It doesn't look too impossible, to be honest. I quit fast because of having to do pre-calc early and was unprepared. I knew doing it would end good, but I still did. Yeah, I kind of struggled with the math in CS as well. I ended up dropping out of college, so I don't actually have a college degree or anything. But the math was hard for me. But like the amount of math that I've learned from doing game dev with, like, you know, I was just talking about velocity and shit, right? Like, I learned how to do it. I figured out you know, the best way that I learn is by having a project that I'm like motivated to work on, rather than just doing busy work in a school setting. So turns out I'm actually okay at math, and I just hated learning it that way. But here's my world. Here's my world map, and I'm only generating a radius of about 4 chunks right now. So I think what we're seeing right now is about this big. So it's a pretty big world. I think it's 15 kilometers. 15 kilometers. And if I zoom out, you can see like here's a terrain chunk. There's a terrain chunk, right? And so each one of these colors on the map is like a different biome or like a different zone. And so you could think of something kind of like Valheim or like Minecraft, you know, where each of these is a different zone or something. But what I do differently from something like Minecraft is the zone design themselves. First of all, I want to do like dynamic biomes. And so like, instead of just the jungle biome always having everything that a jungle biome usually has in it, all the same mobs and resources and whatnot, I kind of want to vary that up a little bit. So it's at least a little bit different, right? Like a jungle biome is still going to be jungly, but maybe it has some different resources and some different mobs, depending on the zone. And I'm starting here in the center, and so these zones will get higher and higher level as you venture out. And there are levels to the game, there are like abilities to the game, there will be like talent trees and stuff like that. There will be the Holy Trinity. And so that's already a little bit different from something like Minecraft or Valheim. And then if you think about like a zone in a game like World of Warcraft, the zones are... They have these physical borders to them, and they don't just kind of blend seamlessly from one to another. And like if you picture Minecraft, like if you see a jungle biome, it's just there, or or a desert biome, it's just there. There's no like mountains around it or anything. But in WoW, there's like usually mountains around every zone, and then there's like an entrance from zone to zone. And I actually like that a lot more. And so you can see here, if I just kind of top down look at this, you can see how I generated mountains around each zone. And so this is a zone, this is a zone, this is a zone, and this is a zone. So I created these kind of physical borders between them. And then the white dots on the map are zone entrance chunks. And so that's how you would get from zone to zone. And so you'll notice there's not always a zone entrance chunk to every other zone. And so you'll have to be clever and find other ways from zone to zone. So this is kind of like my meadows biome, the very flat meadowsy type place. I hope this goes all the way through. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, well shit, I was gonna show that. I have underground caves too, which was like a giga pain. Especially we're talking about math, you want to do some like hard math and try to do 3D noise and make terrain out of it. It's difficult, but I think it looks fucking sick now. What I was gonna show you was does that one go all the way through? Ooh, that one goes through. Sweet. Okay, let's go over there. Let's go. Oh shit. Okay, hang on. Can I make that jump? Okay, cool. Dude, how is GTA coded is my question. The fact you just spawn and everything works frame for frame. I mean, I don't think that GTA is using anything that's like they're not using any techniques other than just like doing a lot of optimization. Like they're not using any techniques that like haven't been done before, I don't think. I wouldn't think so. They just probably have like a really good engine that they've built for themselves that works really well for what they're doing. But they're probably, I don't think there's anything fancy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They probably do virtualized geometry just like Nanite. Okay, so anyway, here's one way you can get from zone to zone. So you've been in this meadows biome, you come across a cave, you're like, ooh, I can get to the other side now. And then this just kind of opens up into a drastically new zone. And then you kind of round this corner, and then it just kind of opens up and to me, this creates like a really nice sense of exploration. And it's like a drastically different zone. Now, these aren't too different. I only have, I don't have all the assets in the world. So I'm just kind of using free assets that I've picked up over the years. But if you imagine like a WoW zone, like I always use Barrens to Ashenvale as the example. Like when you're a horde player, you're used to questing and traveling through these zones that are like the Barrens is an African Sahara type zone. And then when you get to Ashenvale, it's like this magical enchanted forest zone, and they connect together, but there's mountains around each one. So there's only one entrance from Barrens to Ashenvale. So when you cross that threshold, it creates this like really fucking cool moment where it just kind of opens up and you just kind of get this kind of awe-inspiring moment. And so that was what I wanted to emulate, right? Like Minecraft and Valheim are great games. Everyone loves Minecraft. If you haven't played Valheim, you should give it a shot. But those zones just kind of exist, right? They're just kind of there, right? They don't have names. They're not grounded in the world. It's just kind of like, there's biomes and there's stuff that spawns in it. For me, it's like I want these to be grounded into the world and exist in the world alongside each other. And so if you look at the top of the map here, you'll see as I hover over different zones, the name and stuff changes. Like this is Runestone Gorge, Phantom Mire, Nethergate Pass, Midnight Bloomglade, the Land of the Hydras, Golden Mesa, the Cursed Mire, Goldleaf Forest. And so all of these have names to them. And eventually, I'll, because those are all just like purely random names. I actually generated them with AI. But eventually what I'll do is I'm actually going to tag everything that's spawned into the zones, including what terrain is used. Like this would be super rocky, craggy, spiky terrain, right? And I'll send all that information. Any points of interest in the zone, what spawned in it, what resources are in it, what mobs are in it, I'll pass that to the AI, and the AI will come up with a flavorful name that actually makes sense. Like, I guess I'm in Phantom Mire. This doesn't look like a mire to me. That sounds like that sounds swampy, you know. So that's future work. And then I do have AI generated quests, which maybe I can show. Maybe I can show. In my opinion, the world should be authored by a human in order to be grounded and believable. Yeah, well, I'll see if I can change that opinion of yours. And it's like, authored by a human in what capacity, right? Because it's like, I technically still am setting the rules. I still am setting the rules and everything. I'm just not coming up with the individual names for the zone, right? And for me, I just need to break down the world generation into components. And then I get to decide how each of the components connect together. Right, like for this zone, I would say it's like really high altitude, like really, you know, it's much higher up than the rest of the world. And so you could like come up with like some Highlands type name or something like that. And then I can use that, the flavorful zone name to pass into the AI generated quests, right? Like I can come up with a background for the zone, and I'll just kind of like, I'll probably like template it a little bit, you know? Just to keep the AI on the rails so it doesn't just go fucking wacko. But yeah, that's a little bit about the world generation. But the flow of the game, so like the games I'm using, it's going to be RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. The games I'm using to my North Star type games for each of those genres are like Vanilla WoW for class design and combat for the RPG side of things, RimWorld for the Colony Sim side of things, and then like Hades for the roguelite. And so that's, if you can picture what those three games combined together would be, that might be kind of similar to what I'm going for here. I do have a building system and stuff as well. I have this really cool voxel algorithm that I had to write for building like areas because I have underground caves. So you can create these little areas and it will like follow the terrain. Right, so, and this is to make sure you don't accidentally select an underground cave, because this is going to be for like, hey, send your colonists to go chop wood in this area or collect, you know, forage for materials or whatever, you know. So then that's important. You don't want to send your colonist into a cave to get killed or something. But you can send them to go chop wood. I have dynamic tree chopping, so wherever the axe connects is where it edits at runtime. It edits the static mesh at runtime. And then after I chop through, if I actually hit it, my animation for this is really bad. Okay, come on. Show the people what I'm talking about. There we go. So I got 7 wood there. 7 wood. The material underneath that is bad. Ignore that. But there you go. And then I can continue chopping. And there's like, you know, I got more wood. So I got 4 more wood from that. So just a nice little feature there. I haven't seen a game do that yet. Is it going to be a new world generated every time? Yes. Can the player create the world like in Minecraft? Yes, exactly. Precisely. So, like that. For the world generation, yeah, like that. Except the zones are going to have actual like quest lines and lore, each zone will. And it'll have like points of interest with entities in them, NPCs in them that actually have like, they know what zone they're in, right? And they will be talking about the zone and stuff like that. So it'll be like that, but with like NPCs actually grounded into each world. And then you'll also, it's like if you could choose a class when you played Minecraft, right? And if there were levels in Minecraft, I mean, I guess there are enchanting levels, but just for enchanting in Minecraft. But like, I want it to be like Vanilla WoW in terms of combat and class design. I want it to be a little bit more interactive. And I would show a little bit of combat here if I weren't working on the ECS system right now. So it's slightly broken, but like fireball, that doesn't quite work. You know, little bow and arrow, boom. Heal, Frost Nova, you know, so like, I don't want it to be one of those games where it's like just 4 abilities and an ultimate. I don't know why that's like the norm now. That's like super, I know a lot of people think that like looking at something like World of Warcraft, especially like Vanilla WoW, is like intimidating. But I don't know. I look at that and I just see possibilities, and that's the kind of game that I like. And so, like, the flow of the game is going to be you create your character, you'll pick a class, that character will always be that class, and a world will get created for that character. You can't change your class, right? You'll have to create a new character to play a different class. And you create the world will be the same for the whole playthrough. You'll start at level 1. As you level up, every few levels, you will get to pick from a new random ability, right? So, you know, every 2 or 3 levels or something, I'll give you like 3 random abilities for that class to pick from. You know, like if you pick the mage class, you might have fireball, frostbolt, and I don't know, like arcane intellect. If I were to relate this back to WoW, and you get to pick one of those. And so as you level up, you're creating this unique build for your character each time. When you die, you start back over at level 1, same world has the same state from when you died. So any Colony Sim things you've done is still going to be there. If you recruited a really good blacksmith colonist last run, he will still be there after when you die and start over at level 1. But you know, I might do a small time skip when you die. So if your colony is not well defended, then he might be dead. But if he's not dead, he'll be there, and he maybe can create better gear for you than you would have had last time. So there's a little bit of roguelite meta progression in the Colony Sim side of things as well. And when you start over level 1, you'll lose all your abilities and stuff like that, so you'll be creating hopefully new builds each time. I hope each class has enough abilities to create really new and unique builds each time, right? And then you have the talents these will be static, these will be the same every run. And you'll have to just pick talents that complement which of the random abilities you've been given. Oh god, I fell. Okay, I guess we're gonna explore a cave now. Do you have leveling on ability like wood chopping, or is the performance based on the axe, or both? Both. I think it'll be both. Yeah, I don't have like those skills in yet, but like that'll be very important for both the player and the Colony Sim side of things. Like there's gonna be wood cutting, there's gonna be construction skills. Like for construction, you actually need to bring the wood you need to bring the resources to the construction site, and then you actually need to spend time building it. It'll take longer than that. That's just for testing. Oh god. Are we good? But that'll take construction skill, and so it'll take longer the worse your skill is. And same for so like you'll want to send your colonists to go construct things for you, and then they'll level up their construction skill. So that's very like RimWorld, and the same goes for wood cutting, for like planting and harvesting crops, you know, gathering or foraging, that kind of stuff. There will be some social skills as well, and I know we all suck at that. So, but yeah, there will be like kind of like professions or something, and I think I'm gonna have the player like pick specialties. Like I think there's gonna be specialties, but I think what that's going to do is allow you to have a higher level in those skills. So it's like you can do every skill, but it'll cap out early unless it's like one of your chosen specialties. Can I even get up here? I don't know. Please, sir. Please. Please, will you let me build here, sir? I need to work on the building system some more. It's not exactly super useful yet. Oh, where was that? Oh no, I'm stuck. There we go, perfect. Okay, I think I can do something with that. I think I can do something with that. Oh no, they don't have support, never mind. Never mind, I can't. Maybe don't use icons from Warcraft. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna ship the game with those. Yeah, that would be silly, wouldn't it? Just borrowing them. Don't worry, I will give them back. I will give them back, don't worry. They're just placeholders. Everything is placeholder right now, so these aren't any actual assets or anything like that. Zelda's worlds are so much more interesting than Minecraft, exactly for the reason that they're handcrafted. Same can be said about WoW. Yeah, I don't disagree that handcrafted worlds are more interesting in general than procedural worlds, but I'm looking to push that. And I don't think like one is better than the other. They're just different, right? And yeah, like a Breath of the Wild world is just completely different from Minecraft, but it's a completely different game and you get a completely different vibe from the world. Like, the cool thing about Minecraft is that, like, everything in Minecraft is, like, every block is laden with gameplay. Not like, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, every block means something different in Minecraft, and like, so it's like everything in the world in Minecraft has gameplay meaning to it. You can't say that about, you know, some other games that are handcrafted. Like, sometimes games just kind of put doodads in the world that do nothing other than look nice, you know? Not in Minecraft, not in procedural worlds usually. And so it's just different, and they have different usages. And I think if you try to treat your procedural terrain as the content, or procedural anything as the content, I think you end up having a bad time. But if you just treat it like a backdrop to the actual content, then I think it can be used very well, right? Like, RimWorld has some procedural terrain as well, but it's just there to facilitate the story generation, to facilitate the colony sim and stuff. How about trying to be original? Okay, yeah, tell me another game that has done RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. Is that not original enough for you? Sounds awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You should have dynamic digging also. I do. Well, it kind of sucks at the moment, but if I run over to like a cliff or something, I can show it. Originality is not real. Yeah, I mean, you have to take inspiration. Like, there's no true, complete, 100% original anything, right? Ooh, I like this. Okay. So here is my dynamic digging. It sucks. Oh shit, I almost fell. Okay. It sucks right now, but it technically works, I think. There we go. Look at that. So I can edit the terrain at runtime. Look at that. Look at that. But it's not working very well. That's not useful. It creates way too many vertices, as you can see. So more work to be done on that. But yeah, there will be a mining skill for sure. What type of game is it? Single player RPG? Multiplayer RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. So I would be showing the Colony Sim stuff here right now, but my ECS system is broken because that's what I'm refactoring it to get some more performance. Like, one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to actually run the entire world, or at least as much as possible. And so I'm not going to do that kind of sphere of influence type tricks that other games do where they turn off entities that are too far away. What I want is, like, if you build a colony right here, and then you run all the way over here, which is really fucking far away, actually, I want your colony to still be running, right? If you sent guys out to the forest to go chop trees, they have to run over there. They have to chop the tree, and they have to bring the tree back. That still happens whether you're there or not, and it happens in the same way. Because of the way I wrote the ECS system, and because of the way I've written the terrain. Because, like, there's a lot of technical challenges that happen when you do something like that, especially with procedural terrain. Like, I cannot have the terrain meshes built at all times. That is too much memory. But what I can do is I can store the raw data for it, like so. And so what we're looking at, the shaded part is the nav mesh. Outside of this just hasn't been generated yet. But we're looking at the nav mesh takes in this raw vertex triangle data, and it knows what the terrain should be there. So, given that the nav mesh is here, I can still move entities around on here. Now, the entities aren't actors. They're not actual meshes when they're this far away either. They're not meshes or anything when they're not on screen. They're just bits of data, right? So I'm just moving the data around and performing the operations. And the PCG, which is what spawns, PCG is a system in Unreal Engine for procedural content generation. It's what spawns all these, like, trees and stuff. And so I have to keep these in because I need the entities to move around the trees, right? But the way PCG knows is because I take that raw vertex triangle data from the terrain and I store it in a spatial data structure, like a bounding volume hierarchy. This is how collision usually works under the hood, but that allows you to just really efficiently run collision checks. That's how collision works under the hood. Now, There is no collision here. There's no mesh here. It's not just invisible. It is literally deleted. And all I have is the raw data that I wrote my own PCG node to query through that data, sample points on this data as if it were a mesh. And I can do so really efficiently because of how I'm storing the data in a spatial data structure. So yeah, when you send a colonist out to the forest to go chop wood, if there's a wolf or a bandit there, they're going to get fucking attacked, whether you're there or not. So I'm hoping that that makes the world feel like really alive and really dangerous. And I'll have to, there will be some game design considerations to be made where, you know, I don't want the player to feel like they can never leave their colony, you know, because that would be bad. Like, I want them to be able to leave. I want them to be able to interact with it at their leisure. But at the same time, I want consequences for your actions. And I think running the full simulation everywhere at all times is a good way to do that. You catch up on chat here. Are you procedurally generating that area now or loading it? Yeah, this is all procedurally generated at runtime. I approve procedural generation, to be honest. Anything that will help you out works. Well, yeah, it's more so just like I want max replayability out of this. And it's like I don't need, like, if anyone has played RimWorld, you'll understand what I mean. It's like you don't need like super high fidelity, super interesting terrain and stuff. Like, there is a level of good enough to where it facilitates the game, like the gameplay that you're wanting. Like, look at Valheim. Valheim is completely procedurally generated, and it's a fucking great game. And it's just a different type of game. Working on it more will give it more depth, but please let us play this game one day. Of course, I mean, don't hold your breath, as I always say. Ask me again in 5 years. But there's a lot to be done. Like, there's no actual gameplay loop yet. Like, there's nothing really. Like, doing things has no purpose in the game, so there's no fun in the game yet. There's no fun in the game yet. Not even AI can create new things, and I doubt it ever will be. I wouldn't be so sure. It wasn't that long ago that there was a Google made like some alpha algo model that discovered a new compute algorithm that optimized matrix operations or something like that, and that actually improved AI because of it. And that was a completely new algorithm. I wouldn't be so sure, Tinkerado. Where's the outhouse? Yeah. What type of enemies are you planning to add? Monsters or just animals? Both, hopefully. If you can control the data and keep it alive when you're far away, it's going to feel so much more alive. Yeah, I hope that that's true. It's a really large world. And so, like, if I zoom out here, like, this is it's about a 1, 2, 3. It's like this is a 4 chunk radius, and each pixel on here is a chunk. So it's like this big of a circle is generated right now. So it's a really big world. I'll probably have to make it smaller on release. Probably. But I'll probably, another system that I think I need to write is like a simulation invoker. Like, I need entity, like, sleep settings, basically. And sleep as in, like, they're not running. Because there's just, like, certain, like, if there's just a wolf in the forest just kind of wandering around and he doesn't, like, you know, there's no important entities near him, he doesn't need to be running, and I'm wasting compute on him just doing an idle wander in a circle or some shit, you know what I mean? So I need some sort of, like, entity invoker settings. The player will, of course, be one. I think colonists will be entity invokers. So I need some settings for that, and I think that will allow me to... I'll probably need terrain invoker settings as well. Like, I'll need to, like, I don't need to run these ocean... I don't need to store the data for these ocean terrain chunks that are just out here in the blackness, right? So there's more optimizations to be had. Much more. 618 goes seed 619. Oh, see, this is the ocean that I'm talking about. I don't need these right now. I think I'll probably have like a whole ass expansion or something to like fill the ocean, kind of like, you know, Minecraft did that, where they had like an ocean update. It actually made oceans interesting. Oh, this is a boring ass fucking seed. That's a boring ass fucking seed right there. Make so NPCs can kick the player out and name a new leader. Players will have to leave somehow solved. Yeah. I do want I don't know if I'll go that far. I have thought about something like that where they can kind of like rebel, or you can get backstabbed, or there could be like espionage. Like I do want NPC ran colonies throughout the world that like create different factions that maybe you can ally with or become enemies with, or maybe you can just consume them and take over, you know, and just take control. Sandbox games are better when procedural. For example, Valheim is better IMO than Enshrouded because it's procedural. Preach, brother. Pete, preach. Yeah, I've Enshrouded, like, I actually talked to the dev in someone, I forget who I was watching, but the dev was watching an Enshrouded stream, and I talked to him that stream, and he made his own engine for that game, which is impressive. But like, yeah, Enshrouded didn't really hit for me, but it's like I watch it and I enjoy watching people play it. It looks fun. But when I play it, I don't know, it doesn't hit for me. And yeah, I think it's because, I think that's one part of it. Foodalux is that it's not procedural. And I think that there are some specific things. I think there's some specific gameplay decisions they made in Enshrouded that make it feel a little shallow to me. First of all, your base, like, doesn't really matter. Beyond, you need a roof and a fire for comfort or something like that. The NPCs are literally just buildings that you place. Like, they don't walk around, they're not alive. Your base doesn't get attacked. And I think that's big for me. I need my base to feel like it's a part of the world. I need to feel like there's a reason for me to build it up and like invest in it. And in Enshrouded, there's no reason to invest in making it look nice and making it really cool other than just like your own volition, which is okay. And in Minecraft, it's the same way. But in Minecraft, I don't know, it feels a lot better in Minecraft than in Enshrouded for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on it. But another thing they did in Enshrouded was like they have the deformable terrain, but it resets like every night. And the only deformable terrain that sticks around is the terrain within the radius of your base, within the base area or whatever. So yeah, it I don't know, it felt a little amusement parky, which is what can happen with a handcrafted game. I also think the grappling hook was like really weird, because like there was no gameplay involved with the grappling hook past just crafting it, which happens in like the first hour or two. And then how the grappling hook works, like you don't even need to aim it. You don't need to do anything. You just, when you get near a grappling hook thing, a grappling hookable thing, a button literally shows up on the screen, like where it is, even though you don't need to aim it. And it just says press E, and you press it and your guy just zooms over there. So it's like there's no gameplay involved in using the grappling hook. So that felt a little weird to me. Like I would rather it just be like a ye olde hook shot, like in Legend of Zelda, you know what I mean? That sounds better. Took a look here, didn't know about it. Thanks for restoring my hope on the possibility of AI superiority. Well, some people don't like that. That scares them. And I get that. I get both sides of that. I was disappointed with AI mediocrity. Yeah, I think the future in AI innovation is in these narrow models rather than these fucking brute force generic generative LLM models, right? Because Google made, they also made the thing that they got a Nobel Prize for. They got the Nobel Prize for like some genetic material AI that discovered like thousands of new genetic materials that would take years for humans to discover. So it's like that kind of shit. It's like the narrow models that are really good at a specific thing, I think are gonna just pop the fuck off, personally. And this generic like analytical statistical average basic, you know, that's what the AI, that's what generative AI is. It's like, give me the statistical average of whatever this prompt is, right? And like that is just kind of like, it's nice for some things for sure, and I've used it for coding and stuff myself as well. So It's nice for some things, but it's like kind of antithetical to doing things sometimes. I only played Enshrouded for like 2 hours, but once I realized it's not procedural, I kind of lost interest. Yeah, I always hope things are procedural. This is a nice seed. I like this seed. Not everything spawned yet. Still spawning PCG. What's the theme based on your music selection? I'm guessing some kind of high fantasy setting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so picture like, you know, vanilla WoW. Orcs, elves, dwarves, that kind of thing. I expected the grappling hook to be usable everywhere. Yeah, or at least having to aim it on something, right? At the very least. Not on special spots. Yeah, either one would have been a better use case of it, I think. But now it's like literally, it's just a button. Like it's all it is a button. Yeah. I liked Conan Exiles. It's built on Unreal using custom ECS, by the way. Hey, me too. Me too. It's gonna bonk me. Bonk. I need to make them do damage when they hit people. So and when they hit other trees as well, so we can have the... Definitely stealing Valheim's tree domino system. That was like some of the most fun logging I've ever had. So definitely want that. Definitely want that. I see cracks in AI hype. They are starting to talk about mixing LLMs with more traditional AI. Why does that make you see cracks in the hype? I'm not disagreeing with either thing, but like, I don't think those two things necessarily lean into each other. Just because they're talking about mixing it with other things doesn't mean that the... If anything, the hype is dead because of scaling is becoming more difficult, it seems. You know, the release of GPT-5, everyone thinks that the plateau is here. LLM hype to be specific. Yeah, I mean, I understood what you meant by that, but I don't think mixing LLMs with more traditional AI is, I don't think that means hype is dead. I think there are other reasons that hype is dead, though. Or dying, rather. Not dead. And, like, I mean, I think most people who thought about it more than a bit would realize that, like, yeah, the people hyping AI have a financial interest to do so. But, like, you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. You said, I see cracks in AI hype. And yeah, which is why I corrected myself to saying dead to dying. Okay, what's the difference between seeing cracks in AI hype versus thinking AI hype is dying a bit? What's the difference between those two statements? Because to me, those are the same, which is why I use them interchangeably. Mushrooms. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh. Yeah, I think this moment's really cool. When you can get a vantage point and you see, like, the next zone. And, like, just imagine, like, there's a big cave there. Imagine if there's, like, a giant city over there or something, you know? Okay, but let's get back to work here. I've been procrastinating a bit. Bobrin, welcome in, my dude. Crazy to me how fast people get used to tech like AI and expect more progress. A few years ago, no one could even ask AI a question. Yeah, it's been really fast. What was it, like 3 years ago that GPT 3.5 I don't see cracks in hype the same as hype dying. Okay, but both of them mean that hype is lower than it used to be, right? That's why I was using them interchangeably. Both mean that it is lower than it previously was. Maybe one is more drastic than the other. To me, it's just a different way to say the same thing. But yeah, I don't disagree that the hype is lowering. We'll say. I don't think that your reason that you stated though is the cause of that. I think the reason that you stated is just a source of innovation, actually. Oh dear. Oh dear. And it is for some people after GPT-5 release. Yeah, that's the reason I pointed out earlier. I said that the release of GPT-5 made the hype die for some people because of scaling, how it was scaling. This is a nice cave. This is a nice cave. Yeah, nothing exciting in the caves yet. Eventually we'll have some ore spawn down here. But to do so, that means I need to get to work. Because I need to actually make progress. I need to actually make progress on things. Go away. What the hell was I working on before I got sidetracked? How is the ECS refactor going? Thank you, Sovereign. It's going good. We're at like we're at a pretty stable point here. The velocity, I think, is probably the only thing gameplay logic-wise that needs to get fixed. Because I'm handling the velocity differently now. So it's a little weird. You'll notice that they look very orbity. They're very orbity. They're running probably way past their target. But yeah, all the logic does work. Other than that, I think the logic is working. And so I'm gonna switch to using mutexes. And first of all, let me get rid of these two things because I don't think I need them. Actually, the frame data cache I do need. I do still need that. Sorry, hang on, emails. A lot of people on screen, pretty impressive. It actually, believe it or not, used to be better. So we can actually get more. That was only 2,000. We can do better than that. How long have I been working on this for? Going on almost 3 years here in a few months, I think. So velocity processor. I need this to be like floating pawn movement is what I modeled this after. So I think I should probably just change this. Wrong thing. I should probably change this code to just run in control input is get direction. I think I should probably just do something like this. Input velocity equals that. Velocity data is a ref, so we can edit that. We'll do this. Oh no, that's clamped to 1 to just get the raw direction. Okay, so hang on. I'm gonna take all of this, copy it, comment it, and we're just gonna fucking slap this bad boy in the velocity processor. So input velocity, goodbye. Create some space to work in. I think probably slap that in there. I think actually grab you. Go here. Control input is now control input data, input velocity. Do I multiply that by delta seconds? I probably should. Let's start with no right now. Let's start with no. And then I also need const f movement entity data. Movement data, and I guess I'll probably need to grab it from the move to processor. There we go. Move to data. Move to data movement type tag. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I should set that on the control input. On the input velocity data. This movement info feels like the kind of thing that shouldn't be in the velocity processor. Like this should be all figured out. From the move to. But I don't know how. Okay, well, we're gonna keep trying to just make this part work. So I need move to data. F move to entity data, move to target, entity data, move to data. It's exceeding max speed. I guess we'll have to copy that over as well. Move to processor. Let's pin these. Where is exceeding max speed? That is static, so we can just actually just do that. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, this is a weird import, but we're gonna leave it there for now. If you're talking about what I said, I wasn't talking about it feeling stuck, but about it not being what I fantasized about. What I fantasized it being back when I had the first contact with it. I think I get what you're saying. Is exceeding max speed. Okay, we do that again here. And so this and this velocity, or we just don't set. Okay, let's see how that works. I guess where is the boo-boos still? Delta time, that should be delta seconds. Okay, let's update that. Okay, so I guess I don't actually need the movement data. Okay. So we just need to add move to data. Which is weird, and I think I want to change that, but is what it is for now. Just trying to see if it works. Input velocity data. Okay. Let's change that. Rebuild now. Yeah, I think that compiles. Everything's probably going to be pretty drastically broken though. Do you talk out your actions for the stream, or is that something you do whenever you're developing your game? Oh yeah, that's just for the stream. I don't talk out... Well, I do talk out loud sometimes, but... I don't talk out loud this much when I'm normally developing, no. It does help sometimes, actually. It does help. There we go. Here we are. You know how happy I would be if this just works perfectly the first time? Oh, I would be so happy. There's a lot happening in the velocity processor, though. So I will definitely want to rethink how it's structured. Okay, close. Bro, it takes so long to open. I have 2 tabs that it's trying to open right now, and sometimes it just takes so fucking long. Like, I don't know why. Okay, so let's just go to one entity for testy tests here. Oh my god, he's got, his acceleration is through the fucking roof. Holy shit. I feel like your max speed is not being set properly. Because he's moving very fast. And also, I guess we're not editing the velocity because he's not, he's not animating. What's this code for Heartbound? Does this look like pirate software code to you? Be honest. I definitely have written some pirate software ass code in my day. We all have. We've all been there. Okay, yeah, so why... Okay, let's go to the bottom of this. Well, I guess no. I guess let's go here. So we should be setting this, right? What is velocity here? Yeah, we have velocity. It is being set. So why aren't you animating? Jesus Christ. It's so ridiculously fucking fast. Hang on, let me pause it when he's moving. Okay, Jesus Christ. So yeah, let me check here what the velocity data is. Yeah, there is some information there. Why are we acting like there's not? Why are you acting like there's no... Wait, he's got... That is an animation. Jesus Christ. Huh. Okay, I don't know why the animation's broke then. Still waiting on LLM trained specifically for Unreal Engine source code. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be pretty cool. Especially because it's like, the thing is like, it's just changing all the time, so they'd have to like retrain it every version. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be kind of difficult. Yeah, I would like that as well. Jesus, god damn, dude, bro, chill. Just send all the source code as context every time. Yeah, you'd be able to get away with a good amount of it in Gemini with the million context window. But I think probably... Do you think Unreal Engine source code is more than 1 million tokens? I think it probably is, because a token is like 4 characters. So I think it probably is more than... Way more. Let's just say, do you think there are 1 million lines of code? I don't think there's 1 million lines of code. I think there's probably several 100,000. Yeah, so why did this change? What happened here? I'm setting the velocity. Velocity is now just like so fucking fast. So fucking fast. Let's go here. Speed, what is velocity now? 0. Yeah, so can I get... I need to like pause while he's moving again. Okay. I can see that becoming the new IntelliSense software releases just come with an LLM trained on the latest updates, built-in documentation, basically. Yeah, I mean, that is what the autocompletes are, right? And that is like the most helpful... To me, that's the most helpful AI is for coding. Is like the autocompletes. It was over 11 million lines. Okay, that's way more than I would have thought. Maybe I don't have... Maybe I don't have a good perspective on lines of code in a code base. Bro, vibe coding blueprints sounds like my personal hell. What am I doing here? What is happening to this velocity? So we're getting it clamped to a max size. Max pawn speed is supposed to be 175. We're moving way faster than that. Maybe, yeah, let's take control input and multiply by get delta seconds. Let's just see what happens here. Vibe coding in general is hell. Yeah, for most things, yeah. It has a very narrow use case for me. I have used it a little bit actually with the ECS refactor that I've done, because I've gotten myself into like look at this function. Like this function is disgusting. Like doing this variadic template to metaprogramming in C++ is so hard. Like what is this, like, you know, this function was vibe coded, very hard vibe code. It works. It works. I did have to do, it's not like I one-shot this by any means though. Like what is this? What is this fucking syntax? I mean, like I know what it is. I'm just saying it looks gross. It looks gross. Gross. Okay, so where are we? Max pawn speed, max speed, speed percent. Move direction. What do I need to do here? Let's just breakpoint and watch. Okay, that's pretty slow. And he's still not animating. That syntax looks like it's trying to cast a spell. Yeah, that's what it feels like too. Dampen velocity magnitude based on deceleration. So that shouldn't be happening. Speed percent. Yeah, does this ever happen? Yeah, okay, yeah, it does. I mean, it probably should. If control input is 0, then we shouldn't be doing anything really. If control input and velocity are 0, because control input should be like subtracting from 0. Okay, let's multiply this by velocity data delta seconds and see what happens. I'm just like kind of shooting in the dark right now. I need to actually break this down a little bit more in my head. Yeah, we shouldn't be getting to the other assignments, because that's only when we're falling. That's the gravity application, or when we hit the ground. Okay, does he move like okay now? He's still moving. Okay, it's either too slow or too fast. Let me look back here and also pull up floating pawn movement. So before we were taking the control input, which always starts as 0. Do you do 80% CPP code and test blueprints? And would you say it's balanced for this project? I don't know what you mean by test blueprints, but yeah, it's mostly C++, mostly CPP. Is it balanced for this project? I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Not sure how to discern whether it's balanced or not, but I mean, it works for me. You know, a lot of the systems, terrain generation, ECS, you know, those are very CPP heavy systems. Yeah, I feel like maybe delta time is not being taken. It's either too much or too little. Now, is the delta time on here ever? Updated. Oh, it is, yeah. But I mean, they should be basically the same. The two deltas should be basically the same because they're both running every frame. Is it majority CPP and rest of it is BP? Yeah. Yeah, probably 70-80% C++, probably. So I take the control input, we clamp that to 1, basically, so that it's just a direction. And then the speed percent, which is, this is coming from, I think I probably clamped to max size. Analog input modifier. Yeah, which I renamed to speed percent because that makes way more sense than analog input modifier. Is exceeding max speed. I created my own version of that. And then we start editing velocity. I wonder if I shouldn't... Let's not apply delta time to... I think maybe don't apply delta time to input velocity, because we're clamping it anyway. We're clamping it to 1 anyway. So let's not apply delta time to the control input either. Do they do that? Get pending input vector. I mean, I think that's probably already whenever they set that member. Well, they add world acceleration. That's just clearing it. So yeah, whatever add movement inputs. Okay. Is he stuck now? Hang on. Okay, let's restart real quick. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Dude, just tweaked the fuck out. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, yeah, we need delta time. We need delta time somewhere. Okay. Take that back. Where... Hang on. Good point along direction. Let me move that out of the way. New max speed is exceeding max speed. Velocity. I mean, this feels fine. Maybe I think maybe I shouldn't apply delta time until the very end. But it's like they apply delta time. Where is it? Right here. So it's like, I mean, I'm also doing it there. In those two spots, delta time. And delta time. So it's like, why? And when I didn't apply delta time, he freaked the absolute fuck out. Maybe delta time on control input, but not on velocity. That's still too fast. He's not freaking out anymore. But yeah, that's still way too fast. What are you comparing your code to? I'm half comparing my code to the old setup that I have, which is like in the move to processor, but like all of this is based off of the floating pawn movement velocity. I'm using that as like that was my that bingo, we nailed it. That's it right there. Actually, that is it. That's it actually. But I was using that as kind of like my cheat sheet for acceleration and deceleration. Acceleration is easy. Deceleration is actually... It was really hard for me. Okay, hang on. Let's change this to running now. That should be a bit faster. Is it? I need the animations back. So hang on, actually change that back to walking. Okay, this is feeling nice. That's feeling nice. This feels wrong. Have I seen the new hit on Steam? Yeah. Okay, so why am I not getting the animus correct? Okay, let's we'll start this again. I need to pause while he's mid-movement. You know, I'm gonna be so upset if I look that up and it's your game. That's gonna be upsetting. Okay, so he is playing the idle anim there. What is velocity? Velocity is very low. Speed is 1.475. Yeah, that's not... I don't think that's what it is. A little bit... Okay, yeah, now speed is... Okay, he's still idle. Speed should be higher, though. Is that what it's getting set to? Hmm. Yeah, so that is actually slower than what we want. Move direction, control input. Times, okay, so if we don't do delta time, I think it's too much. I think we tried this already. Excuse me. Sorry. Apologies. Okay, so what is delta time, or what is control input here? Something very small. Although speed percent is 1 now. So new max speed 175. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's gonna be like yeah, that's way too fast. But putting delta time on control input seemed good. It seemed good. God damn, he's so fast. God damn, I need to catch him while he's moving. But he's so fast I can't. Okay, so he's getting a little bit of anim there, actually. But it's probably, he's just moving too fast for it to even play, I think, probably. So I don't get it, because I am clamping the velocity here. I mean, I wonder if it's the rest of this that's maybe we can turn off affected by gravity. Yeah, let's turn that off. And and we'll make sure, because gravity shouldn't really matter a whole lot for this level. Where is it velocity data that I have that? Yeah, there you go. Turn that off. No, he's still like super fucking fast. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Speed percent is 1. Max pawn speed is 175. He's not exceeding max speed. So we would get here. Times time scale. We do delta time there. So I do think delta time needs to be applied somewhere else. We're doing it here as well. And is that's what happens in... Yeah, that happens in the floating pod movement too. I mean, the issue has to be with the control input, right? Should decelerate. Times equals speed percent. Yeah, I guess let's run the... Is there anything else I want to see? Let's run the vlogger and probably help me out a little bit here. Move direction. It's clamped. Yeah, move too fast? Yeah, you don't fucking say. You don't fucking say. So, velocity and transform are going to be my friends here. Maybe we look at control input data too. Okay, so it keeps saying... It says speed is 175. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Is it how I'm applying it to the transform at the end? We're setting transform to new location. What is new location? Current location plus velocity. Do I need to multiply that by delta time? That's the missing key. Probably? Question mark? I don't know. I had to stop CPP tutorials and start with BP, but I'm an artist mostly. Hey, totally okay. Lots of games are made with just BP here. There we go. And he's animating now. That was it. Now why isn't he fucking rotating? What's cool about what we're seeing here, you see how his directional movement, he's doing the, he's like strafing. So this is a vertex animated instant static mesh. And he's actually doing like we're sampling a blend space. So he's actually blending between 3 different animations on the GPU. That's what's cool about that. So like the same blend space I use for the actors, I sample with the velocity, and then I calculate the different animation frames and send it to the GPU material, like the VAT material basically. And I modified it to take in 3 different animations and how, unlike what the weights were, like what the lerp alphas are. So it's like he has like the full locomotion blend space. His deceleration needs a little bit of work because he's just like snapping right back to the original. That one was okay. Yeah, it actually kind of looks like shit a little bit. Huh. He is a little slidey. So the blend space could use some editing. Let me look at 2K. We're still running everything on the game thread, so it's going to be a little, still quite unperformant. Okay, there's 2K. Oh, I'm vlogging too. Yeah, that's gonna fucking do it. There we go. Yeah. They look a lot slidier than usual. I feel like they didn't look that slidey before. Actually very noticeable now. Maybe it's just the strafing animations that are like that, and that's why I'm noticing it now. Okay, but I think this is, this is working now. This is disgusting, and I need to refactor it. But we're gonna do that at a different time. Yeah, we will do that at a different time. Let's focus on the rotation now. Why are you not rotating? No, I said one entity, please respond. Thank you. Okay, so I need to, okay, he's moving. Breakpoint. Okay, I need to run live coding. Of course, of course. Okay. Play. Alright. Facing target. False. Yeah, so we should be... I guess maybe get new rotation. Oh, yeah. I remember changing some sort of delta time in here. Sorry, my nose is in shambles. Apologies. Velocity data is the... We're using the delta time from that. Yeah, and that should be a very similar delta time. Current rotation 000. Target rotation, okay. That's looking okay. The rotation interpolation speed initialized to just 500. That should have set it. Okay, that set it to 200 based on the velocity size. Smooth target yaw angle is like barely anything. Which is 800. Delta time, target yaw angle. Rotation interpolation speed is fucking 12 there. interpolate angle constant, so that's not, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. Smooth target yaw angle. Yeah, so that's just getting adjusted each frame. Okay, so current rotation yaw is 0, target rotation yaw negative 14. Yeah, so we should be turning. Delta time, maybe I should, let me extract that. So we just have that float delta time equals that, and then that way I can just see it. What you doing here? I am refactoring my ECS system, and we're fixing a bunch of the gameplay logic that broke because of the underlying architecture refactor. Refactor? Yeah, sure. And what I'm doing right here is trying to fix the rotation interpolation for my entities here, which do not seem to be interlerping properly. The new rotation just does not change. That is the issue. Now, what is delta time? Pray tell. Just it's an incredibly small number. It's a stupidly small number. Let me grab the input velocity data as well. And we'll try that delta time. I think this is going to be basically the same. But yeah, that is just such a small number. Smooth target yaw angle. Exponential decay angle. The rotation interpolation speed is that is the max speed. So yeah, I think the delta time is too small here for whatever reason. Current location, arrow end. That's the green arrow. Okay, so I can look at that as well. So run line coding there. We'll see if the new delta time makes him rotate better. I don't think it will, but we'll see. Oh, you know what? I wonder if velocity processor runs first. And so the delta time when it gets to the move to processor, it gets set in the velocity processor, and then these run synchronously. So I think that actually will work. Check this out, delta time. Yeah, that's a much larger number now. Yeah, that was it. That was the issue. He did face a different direction. Let's see if it's like too much now, though. Look at that. Okay, turn and move a different direction. There we go. See, look at that. Let's make sure the actor version works. Yep, he's still rotating. All right, I think we're at parity. I think we're finally at parity with where we were before. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's so many things that I still need to do to fix the system. I need to just do a lot of things very, very differently. I thought I was going to get into mutexes today. And it turns out I didn't really need them. I didn't really need them at all. But I guess I should just start kicking things off to the background thread and see what happens. And then I imagine we'll get the mutexes and stuff. We'll get into the desire for those. Should I just try that real quick? I think I have a little bit of time before I have to go. For each async. Yeah, we can try it. right now, only the target processor. Well, okay, so hang on. This is going to be the big one here. So we're now going to change this to... I think, yeah, and then I have to rebuild for that. So this is probably where once I change that over, and then we need to comment out the caching. Now that we're at, well, hang on. Let me commit what I have first. Undo that. Undo that. We don't need pending command buffers anymore. Okay. I'm going to say fix velocity and rotation processing. It's basically what that commit is. Okay. Now that that's committed, now do that. Okay, so now let's do it. Does he have a skeletal mesh in actor state? Yes. Yeah, when you get close, he turns into a skeletal mesh.
What's up, fella? Good to see you're doing well. I hope I am.
Thanks for stopping in. Good day to you. Good day to you as well. Thanks everyone for hanging out, by the way. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate ya. Yeah, so I kind of false alarm on the friendship ended with command buffer. Well, I guess the friendship did end with command buffers today. I do have some mutexes in place, but I don't think I have them everywhere. Yeah, so there are some. There are some. Let me grab a little sparkly boy here. One sec. All right, we're back. I have a nice orange mango. Okay, so the frame, yeah, these were taking up a substantial amount of game thread time. So we're going to get rid of those. We're going to get rid of those. And just rely on mutexes. And like, honestly, every time I read about mutexes and like locking, you know, thread locks and stuff, like read-write locks, I feel like everyone treats the mutexes as the boogeyman. Like, oh, well, you need to be super careful. Like, it's going to cause, you know, stalls or whatever. And it's just like, we're going to see if that's actually the case. Because I feel like not only did, like, when I was doing a little bit of vibing with Gemini, it was telling me the same thing. And I've read that elsewhere as well. So it's not, that wasn't like hallucinating or anything. Okay, so there's nothing right now. There's nothing. There's nothing. So it straight up doesn't work. The generate frame data cache. Let me... Find smallest pool. That's the issue. Well, what's your deal now? What? Oh, it's a T-share pointer now. God, and I have to rebuild. I hate the template programming because then it means you have to, like, you can't put a templated function in a CPP file, which is, I think, stupid. I think that's stupid. So every change I make, I have to rebuild it. Means I have to, you know, do all this. Now, hang on. Find smallest pool. Is that... No, that's private. So why do I have to rebuild so many things if all I did was change one private function? Riddle me that. I feel like the compiler should be able to figure out that none of this other shit needs to be compiled. Alexander, I am trying to learn CPP. Where should I start? The same place you should start for any language. By figuring out how best you learn. By figuring out the right questions to ask. I learn best by having a project to apply myself to, that I am motivated to work on, like this one. Okay, he's working still. Wonderful. Wonderful. I found that I don't learn very well from tutorials or courses or anything like that. I need to actually apply the knowledge and not just follow what someone else is doing. Aha, okay, so this is probably our first threading issue. Now, this is a timer manager. Timer manager. Okay. Was anything happening on the background thread at this point? I don't see anything. Okay, an entity query was happening on the background thread. This is probably my next source of performance improvement. Yeah, the entity query. So I actually chunk my entities. And yeah, this is for the targeting processor, which this is like my worst entity processor, because to acquire an entity target, every entity needs to iterate over every other entity and check if that should be the new aggro target, right? It needs to consider all the aggro of all the other entities, the factions and stuff like that. So it's like an n of n. On its own, it's an n of n times n squared complexity. You know, so that's not good. And especially with like how I have this set up, I don't have access to other entities here. Now, I'm also grabbing copies, which, okay, that needs to change. Ooh, wait a second. For each async takes in copies. Yeah. Oh no, it uses the same actually. Okay, so let's do this. This might make this a bit better. Those need to be const ref. Oh no, they don't. They need to be, wait, they need to be ref? Transform data can be const ref. Ability system, what are we editing here? Oh, we're doing set current target. Yeah, okay. Combat data. Why do you need to be? Your copy. Yeah, combat data can be const ref too. So only ability system we need the ref for. Okay. Yeah, set current target, non-const. Non-const. Ooh, guys, I just got the chills. Y'all ever just get the random chills because you had like a... It's almost like I just had like a background thread thought, like a subliminal thought, where I was just like, dude, I am so excited to get this ECS refactor done and start like chunking out some gameplay. Some gameplay logic. I am very excited for that. Okay, so let's rerun there. I don't think that's going to fix anything. It is going to help, though. It is going to help. I'm going to be working on some really exciting things in the future. The Colony Sim stuff is just going to get so much better. Bro, you seem hyper caffeinated today. I guess it's just, you know, I actually woke up kind of super early today. And so it's just like I've been awake for a while. Because usually I'm only awake for like an hour before I start stream. We're here right now. I skipped some things. We're here right now. Colony raids. Oh boy, shit's gonna pop the fuck off when we implement colony raids. Oh, that's gonna be, there's gonna be kind of a loop there. I think that's when I get to kind of a loop, like an actual gameplay loop. Some sort of loop. I think I need to do tree chopping as well. I do tree chopping. Use food from storage. Yeah, that's actually done. I think we get tree chopping in place. Oh, priorities probably need to be in place too. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and recruit random colonists in the world. I mean, I guess technically we can do that. What do you think of Nano Banana? I actually didn't realize it was a thing until yesterday when I accidentally prompted Nano image or yeah, Flash image. And like I was prompting it for the entity system refactor and it gave me like an image. It gave me, I was like, what the fuck? Why? Yeah, I mean, it's just more innovation. I don't see it as anything like groundbreaking or anything like that, but it just seems like a better version of the things that we already have. Better, faster, you know. Google is, you know, I'm a bit of a shill for Google. Bit of a shill. See it there. Okay, LOD data, we have a, I believe this is a exception, right? Yeah, so this is on the game thread, we were accessing an LOD. Did we access that from but let me finish the previous thought. I think Google's doing great in the AI space. I think they are. I think they're the only company that is, I think they are the closest to making AI profitable. And the use cases that they're like the million context window, like no one still, like they came out with the million context window like a year ago. No one has matched that. No one has matched that yet, which is crazy. It's also the cheapest. And they're Google's bet on the TPUs. Like they have their own cards. Like basically they have their own chips that they run everything on, which is how they can make it so cheap, rather than having to rely on NVIDIA, which is and I'm sure if you're following the AI stuff, you know about that. But that is just like such a golden thing that they did here. But yeah, we're getting some conflicts on the entity query, basically on the get entity data. Now, let me figure out where that thread needs to be. Was it 3? Yeah, it was 3. What entity data type? It's avatar entity data. Bombed my L3 interview at Google. Ah, sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you learned, though, in the process. And you can come back and get it next time. What's the cooldown period at Google for reapplying? I'm not sure. You'd probably just have to look that up. It's probably like 6 months or something. I barely missed my Meta L5 interview. Or what is it, E5 at Meta or whatever. But the Meta interviews are fucking rough, man. Not that I actually would have accepted the offer, but like those ones are particularly rough because like you have to answer 2 like leak code medium to hard questions in 45 minutes. So it's like you get 20 minutes per leak code question, which at that point, like, you have to have seen the problem, basically. That's memory at that point. That's not like, to me, that's not actual like problem solving skill at that point. Maybe for some people they can think and code that fast, but like for me, I got the conceptually I understood what I needed to do. I just didn't have enough time to get it complete. For some of them, and that was my interview feedback. It's like you basically, they say, yeah, you didn't complete the code in time, and I was like, even though you show that you had the right approach. I was like, that felt like I barely missed it, you know, which is fine. I don't know that I would have accepted the offer anyway, but Google, Amazon, Meta, Apple, which do you think is the best place to work? Well, it's definitely not Amazon or Meta, I don't think. I think it's either Apple or Google. Amazon is like notoriously the worst to work at. Like it's the most notoriously cutthroat. Meta, I think better than that, but still super stressful from what I've read. But Zuck likes to throw money at his engineers, so you do get the payday at Meta, and they do support remote work better than Google and Apple. Yeah, okay, so I'm logging here on get entity data, and when I'm here, I have a ref to LOD data. Am I even accessing the LOD data from this thread? I don't think so. Oh, I guess it's entity chunk. Maybe it's getting the entity chunk processor. Oh no, I get that way in advance. Get entity transform. Okay, so I guess I'm getting data here. So there are two. No. Yeah, why did this cause a conflict? I don't understand. These are not accessing the same memory. I mean, something else had to have happened, right? The whatever I'm seeing on the background thread is probably not up to date. Or each internal, yeah. So I think maybe the for each needs a read block somewhere. I'm gonna guess that that's it. So let's see what happens when I try a read lock on the for each. And it should just be in this scope, because that's where we're doing the entity data pools. So I think I can do F read scope lock with the mutex there. Does that work? I did get into a little bit of mutex stuff here. And this is a read-write lock. It is indeed. Alias for a shared mutex that does not support recursive locking and may not be fair. What does that mean? What is recursive locking? The difference between recursive and non-recursive mutex has to do with ownership. In the case of a recursive mutex, the kernel has to keep track of the thread who actually obtained the mutex the first time around so that it can detect the difference between recursion versus a different thread that should block instead. There's a question of the additional overhead in both in terms of memory. To store this context and also the cycles required to maintaining it. However, there are some other considerations at play. Sense of ownership. The thread grabs mutex must be the same thread that releases the mutex. In the case of non-recursive mutex, there's no sense of ownership, and any thread can usually release the mutex no matter which thread actually took the mutex. Does that actually happen? In many cases, this type of mutex is really more of a semaphore action. What the fuck does that mean? A visual signal is a variable or abstract data type used to control access to a common resource. Okay. Where you're not necessarily using the mutex as an exclusion device, but use it as synchronization or signaling. What's the difference? What's the difference? I still don't understand the difference. Priority inheritance. Okay, yeah, that illuminated absolutely nothing for me. I needed an example. Okay. We running. Okay, we're actually running great now. Let's get some little perf traces here. Hit me with the performance. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this soak for a bit. Or maybe about a minute or so. Yeah, our game thread looks horrible. 53 milliseconds. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Everything's on the game thread right now except for the target processor though. So yeah, that's gonna be the case. But it is surprising that I can run all this on the game thread. In my old system, putting all of it on the game thread would run at 1 FPS. Literally less than 1 FPS, probably. So, really, really big performance gains already. Okay, let's stop there. To him. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Do they switch to actor when attacked from long range? No, they stay entities. Attacks can happen to entities. Okay, it got worse over time. Why is that? And where did my scope traces go? Wait, hang on. Where did my scopes go? Did my vibe coding delete that? I think they did. I think the vibe code deleted it. How dare he? How dare you, sir? It did. Heckin' did. Well, that kind of ruins that a bit. For each scope, there we go. Okay, well that kind of ruins that, but we'll rebuild while we take a peek here. Yeah, why did it started great. And it just got longer and longer. Dude, the entity representation processor is running very fast. 300 microseconds. LOD processor running really fast. The chunk processor, dude, running so fucking fast. Yeah, once I start splitting out this data to where there's no pointer chasing happening, these are gonna run so fucking fast. There's a lot happening in velocity. Like, I have to do like line traces and shit, so like, yeah, I'm not taking advantage of the true architecture here, so. Yeah, and you can tell the ones that do take advantage, like, yeah, 300 microseconds is nutty. Nutty. Yeah, I'm not really getting a good sense of why. Oh, I'm seeing timer manager. but also just the entity subsystem itself is just taking longer. The velocity processor is taking longer, it seems. Yeah, I'll get a better sense now, so we'll have to rerun that because my trace scopes were not proper. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for all of them to finish spawning, and then we'll start another trace here. Okay, boom. So let that run for like another minute, maybe. But yeah, the entities, they don't have collision on them, but I check the collision in a processor as well. So like the chunk processor is what allows me to do that efficiently. And so I just check if the fireball has gotten, you know, like any projectile, whether it's an arrow or a fireball or whatever, which are the two projectiles I have right now, whether or not that has hit the entity location plus radius capsule. You know what I mean? So yeah, the combat can still happen to instant static mesh entities. Okay, so that was about a minute. Was about a minute. Yeah, so it definitely is getting longer over time. So we'll need to check in on why that is. Okay, velocity processor, 3 milliseconds. Yeah, there's a bunch of timer things here. The velocity processor is just getting worse and worse. Are all of them, or is it just the velocity processor? So we have chunk processor, 400 microseconds there, versus, yeah, it's about the same. And then what is this? What is this gap right here? What is that gap? How much more performant are they compared to actors? Oh, I mean like 100 times. I mean, it's crazy. When I first was starting this, I was doing just actors with behavior trees, and like I got to like 10 actors and it was a problem already, you know, especially with, I was using the ALS character, which takes up a lot of game thread time to animate as well. And so now that I have state trees, which don't take every frame like behavior trees, and I don't have actors or skeletal meshes, and all the animation calculation is done on the GPU, it's like, I mean, you can see I have 2,000 entities, and it's running better than 100 actors were. That's how much better. It's like vertex animated. If you can get a high fidelity vertex animated static mesh, like you should do so. You know, and like for a lot of games, like once they're far enough away, you don't even need a high fidelity version of it, right? Like you can just put some really like bare bones, like mine are pretty high fidelity because I sample a blend space in C++. Used to do it on the background thread, but then I can get the 3 animations that are in the blend space for locomotion, and I can send all 3 of those animations to the GPU along with what their weights are. And like that actually gets a pretty high fidelity animation for me. So I can show them pretty close up. But like you don't even need to go that far. You can just play one animation. Once they're far enough away, it doesn't even matter. That kind of blending does not matter once they're far enough away. So anyways, back to checking this out. Process entities, attachment processor is 5 milliseconds. It is 5 milliseconds here as well. ISM processor 7.7, 8.2. So that was actually faster. That one was actually faster. LOD 780 microseconds. Yeah, about the same. Move to 8.9 versus move to 1. Ooh, so the move to got slower as well. Interesting. Interesting. Were there actors? Were there actors involved? Representation processor 330 microseconds compared to 390. Yeah, so about the same. And then state tree 2.2 milliseconds compared to 6.5 milliseconds. Okay, so state tree got a lot slower too. Yeah, I mean, the state tree makes sense because they all start as just being idle and then they start like moving around more consistently. So that one makes sense. I get that. I wonder, does this cap out at some point? Is having background characters on different threads standard in game dev? I haven't heard most games run on a single thread. Yeah, so it's not standard. It's not. It is not. But with the ECS architecture, really what's happening on the background threads are just individual processes for all of the NPCs. So it's not like there's not like certain NPCs that are on the background thread and certain ones that aren't. It's more so like, yeah, all the logic is running on the background thread for their state trees or something like that. You know, all the velocity processing is happening on the background thread. And then it's like in the game thread is where like, you know, some things get applied. Like when they're actors, I can't change the location of an actor outside of the game thread. So I have to do that on the game thread. Same for the locations of the instant static meshes. That all needs to happen on the game thread. But a lot of the processing for it can happen on the background threads. But that is still not standard. I don't think very many games take advantage of that. A lot of games just don't. You think using /learning ECS is worth always using or just for larger projects? I mean, not even for larger projects. It just kind of depends on the game you're trying to make. Like, if you're trying to make, like, I specifically need it because I want to run the entire world. Like, I need that, right? If you're making an RTS, you need that as well because there's going to be a lot of units on screen, right? So there are certain games that you need to do something like that for. And then there are other games that, like, you just shouldn't... you know, like a Witcher or some like, you know, Skyrim, maybe like an RPG game where it's just like, there's never that many actors in a single place. Like you probably don't need to worry about it and can focus on easier performance improvements. When do you plan to publish on Steam? Ask me again in 5 years and then maybe I'll have a plan. Okay, so move to... Yeah, and I guess it makes sense for move to and velocity being larger because there's just more moving around at that point. Let me grab some aggregate values. Let me just look here and compare. So we have target processor. Which only ran 53 times. About the same. About the same. I need the for each one. ISM. Wow, so fast. That's fucking crazy fast. Wait, so the median and average were fucking 0? Yeah, where is the ISM processor actually? Is it actually that fucking fast? Oh no, it's right there. It's what? Why is it showing as 0 for the median and average? Yeah, that's pretty disingenuous, I think. Move to median is 5. Max 50. Yeah, I think I need to let it run for a little bit before I start. Because, like, yeah, what was happening here on these frames? Like, nothing. So all these frames are like, here, let me grab it from, like, here. We'll go from, like, right there. Okay, give me that. I see. There we go. That's a lot more representative. That's a lot more representative of what I'm seeing. Okay. About 8 milliseconds there. Move to 5. Okay, I mean, fair. Velocity also 5. That got better, which is weird. Yeah, I think I need to let the state tree run for a little bit because they all start as doing nothing, and then they're all idling at like the same time and shit. Attachment processor is actually working now. State tree. LOD processor is so fucking fast. Representation processor super fucking fast. So same with chunk processor. Okay, so it's velocity. Move to has a tick as well, but that shouldn't have ran. Yeah, that shouldn't have ran. Because none of them were actors. But yeah, the mutex seemed to work. Again, I only have one thing running on the background thread right now. State tree, I can kick that entirely to the background thread. And I intend to do so. There's pathfinding that happens in there and stuff. Yeah, that's always going to be on the background thread, I think. So I'm kind of wondering what my next modus operandi is here. Which one of these do I focus on? I think fucking velocity processor. There's a lot of traces that happen here that I could definitely do this in different loops and be more efficient, I think. Attachment processor. I'm probably going to fold that into ISM processor. ISM processor, 9 milliseconds on the game thread. Yeah, yikes. Let me look at ISM processor. Yeah, this is where all that sampling is happening. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think maybe... Yeah, that takes a lot of data. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that could be optimized. I wonder if I should store UObject refs. Like pack up an array of UObject refs. And see how much faster that gets. That would be interesting. That means I would need to... Yeah, I need to implement my other for each, which like... takes in... or would get called back with the data pools. What would I want to do there? How would I want that to look? How would I want that to look? Because I don't want to have to redo basically this same work in the processor function. It would be really nice if my processor functions could just get, instead of the individual entity datas and the entity, I want each of these things to be an array. But I guess the issue is they're not always going to be at the same index. Like, the entity is not always going to be in the same index in each array. That's the problem. So like this would basically just, I would need the entity to data index map to reconcile that. And so I would get a list of entities, iterate over the entities, and then like get the data in the pools. But I should probably dereference the pools, dereference the pool pointers or something, so that I don't chase those pointers every loop. And then that way, if I have that, then I can do a loop where I do all the inefficient stuff first, like grabbing this animq pointer off the proxy actor, shit like that. And then that way, I can take advantage of the processor cache optimizations here for things like that. Get current. Wait, what even happens here? Current anim. Oh yeah, we get the animq twice, so double pointer chasing there. Yeah. I wonder how faux pas it is to use a UOB, like pass a U object around by ref, so that I don't have to follow the pointer multiple times. I'm curious as to like, so let me, the max for the entity ISM processor 8.3, we'll say, so maybe 9, 10, see a 10 there. Then back here is 8. Okay, so it's about the same. It's about 8 to 10. So I'm just wondering if I were to do something like this, then do I get the animq here? I do. Okay. Hey, welcome in. If I were to do something like this, where I pass in U ability animq by ref, And what if I just like animq, just dereference it? And let's make sure we can do that. If animq, we'll just make sure. We will just make, and so there's no abilities happening, so I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. We'll just say const u ability animq ref animq ref equals, yeah, that, and then that way we can also check the get current anim there as well. animq ref. Okay, let's rebuild and see how that goes. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. I'll check some things. So yeah, let's just see how much better that is. Okay, gonna wait for everything to spawn. Okay, run the trace. What should an intermediate developer focus on in today's AI area? I mean, I don't think there's any one blanket answer to that question for everyone. Like, that's really on an individual basis. Like, I think what you need to focus on as a developer is completely different from what someone else would need to. So you really need to, I think it's just always about like focusing on what your weak points are. And I don't think that matters as to what the current state of AI is today or not. And it also depends on what you're interested in, right? Like, if you're not interested in fucking embedded systems programming, then you shouldn't be trying to get good at it, right? So there's some time period where the movement kind of caps out in terms of like all of them moving at the same time. So I might let this run for 2 minutes here. Okay, we're at about like 1:30, so I'll just let it run for a little bit more. Okay, stop. So an entity gets close and switches to actor, it's still a part of ECS. Yes. The actor is just a facade, right? Like, it's not the actor is never the source of truth. The ECS system is still the source of truth. Bro, look at that. I mean, it's 7.8 milliseconds here. So that shaved like 2 milliseconds off. Just like that one pointer dereference. If I'm under, let me take a macro level view here. for each process. Well, I mean, that I was expecting that to kind of fail at some point, right? Yeah, I'm definitely seeing, like, let me go to like a long frame or something, like pick a bad frame. Does it show the max? Oh, there's only one in there. Oof, that was 17 milliseconds, okay. I mean, I don't know. It did seem to get lower, maybe? I don't know. Actually, it's kind of hard to tell how much that affected it or not. Yeah, I don't know how much that helped, actually. It's fucking hard to tell. I wish I wrote that down. Oh, I guess I have the old ones here. Oh, shit. Which one's which? This one's the later one. Okay, so this one's later. Okay, so we're gonna go from like right there. And then ISM processor. Max 27, average 8.6, median 8.5. That was for the new version. Max 14. Average 8.7, median 8.5. Okay, so that didn't make much of a fucking... Actually, the max is worse. If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, this is the new one. Oh no, that's the new one. This is the new one. Why? Why is that worse? Oh, I did that wrong side. There we go. Yeah, the new one is actually spikier. I ran it for longer too, so... Yeah, I don't know. That didn't actually make that much of a difference. Didn't make that much of a difference. So, like, I guess the bottleneck of that function is in a different spot. Yeah, I mean, these are basically... Okay, so instead of doing that, pass everything in as entity data. Ugh, I gotta go to work. I can't do that right now. Can't do that right now. I want to, but I can't. I have to go. I have to go. Who's streaming right now? Stevie Ray. I haven't rated her in a while. So we'll send you guys over there. She's making an on switch.
Did an art meme on Blue
She's
Sky.
working on like a horror game. 90s horror. So I'm gonna send you guys over there. And I appreciate you all being here. Thank you for hanging out. Long weekend this weekend, no work on Monday, so hopefully lots of good progress to be made on the ECS system this weekend. Hopefully, maybe can we round it out by Tuesday? Can we? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But until next time, take care, everyone.